Hey, you. Yeah, you right there. Have you ever wondered how your brain works? More specifically in the sense of like how you learn and how you gather information and all that stuff. Well, if you haven't, I'm about to teach you because it's important. And if you have been wondering, good thing you're here because it's the right place. So sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, and maybe a timer. You'll understand why later, hopefully. Now, before we talk about ways of learning how to learn and developing that muscle, I want you to understand how the muscle initially forms, or how it works initially. So to do that, we have to go here, and here is the brain. Pretty gross, right? We all have these in our skulls, obviously, but I don't want you to think of the brain as this science-y thingy right now. I don't want you to think of it like that. I want you to take a second and imagine your brain is one of these, a storage unit, because that is what it is. It is your long-term storage unit and your short-term memory. Anyways, the reason I have this is because you have your math, science, history, unraveling the mystery. But you also got your English, you got your random facts, you got all that stuff. But, and in each and every single one of these little doors, right here, you can see them, there's hundreds of them. But there's a lot more of these in your brain than this little image has. And each and every single one of them is chains of information, and those chains themselves are made up of these. Not these, but what these are. These are little space alien guys. They have these crazy little legs with these little balls on them. They got their brain with an eye, and they got this hand. This hand is used to grab other legs of other space aliens. Now, in your actual brain, those are not what they look like. They look like these. These are neuron links. So the way they work is when you're learning something new, like a new math problem or a new history fact, these form in your brain. A bunch of them form. And they start linking together and start transferring little electricity zaps to make sure that they're working. And the way they develop, and you develop the chain, the muscle, is by repeating every day, learning new information about the same fact. And they get thicker and more of them attach until they form a closed circuit of information called the chain. Now, if you want a little bit of a visual representation of what a chain would look like, I don't have a picture of it, but imagine a Formula One race car track. They start there, they go all the way around this squiggly line, it goes everywhere, and then it ends up in the same place. The little spark starts in one spot and ends in the same spot, and it keeps going. So, those eventually get put into this long-term storage, and it goes into the storage unit. Let's say this door right here is for math, and you just learned how to do 3 times 3. And this is the 3 times door. It throws that chain that you've just developed in there for your memories, so that way when you need to recall it, it'll come back later. Now the way your recall works is this, a little backpack. Now inside this backpack is your good friend, Mr. Octopus. Say hi, Mr. Octopus. Good job. Now Mr. Octopus, what he does is he'll run up and down with the backpack really fast through these halls, and you'll go and look for the information that you need to recall. So let's say one of your friends goes, "Hey, so-and-so, can you help me with this math problem?" And as soon as you hear that, your little octopus boy goes straight down that hall, go straight for the math department, and you go, "Sure, what's the first number? Or what's the kind of problem?" And he goes, "Well, it's an addition problem." So then he takes a hard left down this little hallway, and he goes, "Oh, here's the addition department." And they go, "It's 25 plus." And he books it all the way down this way to the 25 plus door. And then he opens it up when you hear the next number. And then you hear, "It's 25 plus 25. And he goes and grabs that chain and shocks it. And he shocks it because it activates the spark that's sitting in the chain waiting to be used, and it starts going around really fast, and it charges it up, so you remember 25 plus 25 equals 50. And then boom, you say that, and you go, "Oh, that's 50. And that's how your brain works. So, now that you know how the muscle forms, you need to know how to train that muscle and make sure it's strong. So there's a couple of different ways to do it. Like I said earlier, you can recall on stuff and practice recalling chains that are brand new and sparking them and making them stronger. Another way is to what's called the Pomodoro. And the Pomodoro is where you take a 25-minute timer and you put away all distractions for those 25 minutes and you just focus on your work, whether it be writing a 10-page paper or doing 3 math problems on your math homework. For those 25 minutes, you're just going to focus on that work. And then when you're done, the timer goes off, you give yourself a little break, a reward to satisfy yourself for this hard work you just put in. You can take those 10 minutes to go on a walk, read a book, practice recalling what you've just learned, text your friends, call your friends, do whatever you want in those 10 minutes. It's just a 10-minute break to take a break, a 10-minute break. But then after that, you gotta go back and do the work again every 25 minutes. It's a great way to learn. That's what we've been doing in class. Another way you can do it is to pump your brain up. And some people will do puzzles or trivia. And there's other ways too, but those are the two that I would suggest. Puzzles practice your categorizing and your identifying an image and matching it, and that's really good for your brain, especially if you're working on stuff like that. And then trivia is really good because it helps you recall random facts about like the 70s or about baseball or about football or about soccer or about what you did last week. It just helps you recall this information. And when you have this good training and your muscles are in these chains, your muscles are properly built, it allows you to be successful by having good flexibility, persistence, open options, all this good stuff. So in conclusion, that's how your brain works. That's how you train your muscles. And can you recall what I said earlier about taking a seat, relaxing, grabbing some popcorn, and why did I say grab a timer? You let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for listening, and that is how you learn how to learn and how your brain works.